Hi everyone, I hope everyone's doing well and has progressed since the last time I came to speak to you guys on here. Today I'm going to speak to you about hypoxia, and what hypoxia is basically where your body's deprived of oxygen. There's 4 different types of hypoxia. So far I've actually suffered with 3 and currently suffering with 2, which is why I might sound like a little bit out of breath. So I do apologise. This video is going to be chopped up because right now I'm standing and I am getting out of breath. Normally I have to put my oxygen on, well normally I have it on, but just because I'm making a video I just don't want it in the way sort of thing. So I'm just going to go through the 4 different types briefly and just tell you a little bit about my experience. Let's go. So you have number 1, which is called hypoxemia, and this is a low arterial oxygen supply in your blood going towards your tissue and vital organs, so they won't function properly. So me being a dancer, dancing's out of the question. Exercise, I've literally just started doing a little bit of exercise and it just takes all my energy away. It's just a lack of oxygen to your tissues. If you ain't got no oxygen, your body's just not going to function properly, not going to respond how you like it to, basically. The next one's called anemia, which most people are aware of. This is the deficiency of red blood cells or haemoglobin in the blood. Haemoglobin takes place in the red blood cells, so if that function isn't being carried out properly, or you have a low blood count, that's where the lack of oxygen is. So you start feeling breathless and constantly feeling like you're gasping for air. The next one is called stagnant, and this is basically where your blood flow is extremely low. It links back to my pulmonary hypertension, but it's like my blood vessels, they've gone very narrow, so it's hard for the blood to get through and deliver oxygen to my lungs and the rest of my body, basically. So yeah, it's like the lack of blood flow. It's not transporting the oxygen well enough. The last one's called histotoxic, and out of the 4 types of hypoxia, this is the only one I haven't suffered with. And this is basically where the oxygen is present, but the cells or tissue, where they've been damaged or poisoned or they're just not functioning properly, they're unable to use the oxygen that's available. So the causes of hypoxia is normally due to respiratory or lung, cardiovascular diseases, usually. It's not a nice thing. I actually understand the term like breath of life. I understand that term now, and it really is like that feeling of not being able, like just having no air, no oxygen. It's like this dying feeling. It's just so not nice. But I first started experiencing this early January 2017, and the first symptom was my heart is beating really hard and fast. I did tell the doctors, but they blamed it on my Still's disease, because you know I already suffered my first illnesses with like arthritis, Still's disease sort of thing going on, and they blamed it on that. So it was a case where, as long as the inflammation stays low, then I wouldn't have this problem. So getting out of breath as I'm talking now. But it's like, seems like we blamed it on the Stills. It was like there was just nothing that was happening. Like I had to stop dancing, had to stop exercising. Like I normally go for jogs in the morning, had to stop all that. It just wasn't happening. And so I was doing a lot of like techniques and things that would normally be advised to do for Still's disease, not hypoxia or pulmonary hypertension, basically. And like I got in such a state, like I couldn't even walk to the loo. Like my dad would have to carry me sometimes, or my siblings. You begin to feel very tired all the time. Where it's like lack of oxygen to your joints, your muscles and stuff, they're not going to function properly. And also my mind, like my brain. My dad kind of thought there was permanent damage done to my brain. Like, I don't know if there is, but at the time I just felt very stupid, very confused. I couldn't hold information. My memory is very, very good could not hold anything. I couldn't remember what I did like within the last 2 hours. Like everything was just confusing. It got really, really bad where my mind was out of it, and it's like someone's talking to me, I'll be taking a long time to respond back to them as well. But one thing I've definitely learned, you can't leave it up to doctors. Like doctors can only do their best. Doctors, the technology and the information has only come so far. Like there's always going to be illnesses. Like illnesses will kill you first, and then new information comes about new technology and tests that can be done to prevent or get rid of the illness comes. Autoimmune diseases and stuff like this, they're coming up more, they're on the uprise, but they're still fairly new. Like you have to put in the work and do the research yourself, because, sorry, let me take a minute. Yeah, you have to do the research yourself because it's your life. Like no one's going to fight for it as much as you are, and that's what I've learned. Like you can't just rely, you can take the information from them, but do your own research and just gather as much information you can as possible, because it really does help. It really does help. And this time round, I've been in hospital for exactly 4 weeks. It's not until I start typing on the internet, out of breath, short palpitations, and getting palpitations, my head feels tired, my body feels tired, I can't hardly move. I'll be on the bed, be sleeping, I'll stand up off the bed and I feel dizzy, I feel like I'm going to faint. That's how bad it's got. Yeah, if I never did this research, I came across hypoxia and the stagnant condition and all this. I've been in hospital for 3 weeks. The first time I heard about hypoxemia, them diagnosed me with hypoxemia, was 3 weeks, and I've just come out. Literally, I've done 4 weeks in there. They've done so much tests, I didn't know if it was my pulmonary hypertension or if I had lung problems or different, so many tests they did on me, and it all came back negative. And the first time I heard of anything, any sort of diagnosis, was my 3rd week in, so come on, you know what I mean? Yeah, so do your own research, it's very important, and you have to be interested in what's going on. You can't leave it to somebody else, because somebody else might miss it, and that's just you gone. So there you go. Apart from being on the oxygen, things that you might want to do, I'm hoping to turn this around in a couple of weeks, so I will be making another video on this, but eat really iron-rich foods. Obviously it helps build back up the blood, iron, and have a plant-based diet. If you're not already doing it, try and get stricter on it. I'm cutting out all the junk, like all the bad carbs and sweets, and well, not so much sweets, I eat a lot of biscuits and crisps and stuff like that, but I'm getting even more strict on my diet. So plant-based foods where the plants hold a lot of oxygen, it's good to eat those. Increase your water intake, obviously H2O, water has a lot of oxygen in it as well. Meditation, I did start yoga. I only started on the breathing techniques, but with me it's like I need to understand why I'm doing it or what's happening for me to keep my motivation up basically. And the breathing, so I've done about a week of it and I feel so much better, as in I'm able to function a lot more. I'll sit there for at least 20 minutes breathing in and out, and I find that it helps so much. Also going out early in the morning where there hasn't been traffic, everyone's sleeping, there hasn't been much traffic on the road, the air's so much fresh, plus the plants, they give off so much more oxygen at that time in the morning as well. Yeah, so anyone that's suffering with hypoxia, I hope some of these, you know, techniques help. You should try them regardless, because you don't want to have to rely on the oxygen, the extra oxygen, the nasal cannula sort of thing. Yeah, everyone have a good day and check out my next video. I've got lots of videos coming up because it's like every 2 weeks I get diagnosed with something else. I have to talk about it and update you lot on my experience. But thank you for watching my video, and watch the next one. and subscribe. Please subscribe, and take care. Bye.